The idea of parallel universes has been in history for years, so of course it's real, right? Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. I'm your host Emily and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 mysterious parallel universe evidence in ancient texts. Coming in at number 10 is ancient Indian text Vedas. Some individuals have suggested that certain verses from ancient Indian texts such as the Vedas contain descriptions that could be interpreted as references to parallel universes. Now for those of you who don't know, the Vedas are a collection of ancient sacred texts that form the foundation of Hindu religious and philosophical traditions. They are considered the oldest and most authoritative scriptures of Hinduism. The Vedic texts mention that there are unlimited universes that exist simultaneously, but each is a separate and enclosed unit. Now they also mention that there are different dimensions within one universe. Those dimensions are accessible in different states of consciousness. They say there are also replicas of the spiritual world that can be perceived with spiritual vision but not mundane vision. The locations are in the material world and seem material to mundane vision, but spiritual to those with spiritual vision. Now there are also areas that are not accessible to humans, we just don't have clearance to enter them. Now how they are protected, we don't know, but they are geographical areas that we just don't see or have access to. They are inhabited by other people who don't cross over into our domain, so there you have it. Number 9. Mirror worlds in Celtic folklore. In Celtic mythology, the other world is the realm of deities and possibly also the dead. In Gaelic and Brittonic myth, it is usually a supernatural realm of everlasting youth, beauty, health, abundance, and joy. It is described either as a parallel world that exists alongside our own, or as a heavenly land beyond the sea or under the earth. The other world is usually elusive, but various mythical heroes visit it either through chance or after being invited by one of its residents. Now they often reach it by entering the ancient burial mounds or caves, or by going underwater or crossing the Western Sea. Sometimes they suddenly find themselves in the other world with the appearance of magic mist, supernatural beings, or unusual animals. Number 8. Greek mythology. There are a lot of Greek mythology stories, but we're going to focus on Persephone and how parallel universes are seen in her story. Persephone in Greek religion, daughter of Zeus, the chief god, and Demeter, the goddess of agriculture, was the wife of Hades, king of the underworld. In the hymn to Demeter, the story is told of how Persephone was gathering flowers when she was seized by Hades and removed to the underworld. Upon learning of her abduction, her mother Demeter and her misery became unconcerned with the harvest or the fruitfulness of the earth, so that widespread famine ensued. Zeus therefore intervened, commanding Hades to release Persephone to her mother, but because Persephone had eaten a single pomegranate seed in the underworld, however, she could not be completely freed, but had to remain 1/3 of the year with Hades and spend the other 2/3 with her mother. Now the story that Persephone spent 4 months out of each year in the underworld was no doubt meant to account for the barren appearance of Greek fields in full summers after harvest, before the revival in the autumn rains when they are plowed and sown. Now it can be argued that the underworld is a parallel universe, and I believe it. Number 7. Parallel universes and Kabbalah. According to Kabbalah, all existence can be divided into 4 worlds. The world of emanation, the world of creation, the world of formation, and the world of action. Although they are referred to as worlds, in reality these aren't separate planets or galaxies. Rather, they exist right here together with us, but in another plane of reality. It's said that even when we have not done an action but merely said we would do one, the action has already been taken in the world of speech. Now there is a story of 2 Mitzvah citizens who were involved in a bitter dispute. Once, while they were angrily having it out in the local synagogue, one shouted to the other, "I will tear you apart like a fish." Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, who was at the synagogue at the time, told his disciples to form a circle, each taking the hand of his neighbor, and to close their eyes. He closed the circle by placing his holy hands upon the shoulders of the 2 disciples who stood nearest to him. Suddenly, the disciples cried out in fright. They saw the angry man actually ripping his fellow apart just as he had threatened. He said, "No potential ever remains unrealized. A person's every act, word, and even thought has an effect. At times the effect is concrete and tangible, at times it is more subtle, and can be discerned only by a finer, more spiritual eye." Number 6. Egyptian mythology. The Egyptian universe, created on Mayat, which has several meanings including truth, justice, and order, was fixed and eternal. Without it, the world would fall apart, and there were constant threats of disorder requiring society to maintain it. Inhabitants of the cosmos include the gods, the spirits of deceased humans, and living humans, the most important of which was the pharaoh. Now, Egyptians saw the earth as flat land, the god Geb, over which arced the sky, goddess Nut, and they were separated by Shu, the god of air. Underneath the earth was a parallel underworld and undersky, and beyond the skies lay Nu, the chaos before creation. Duat was a mysterious area associated with death and rebirth, and each day the sun god Ra passed through Duat after traveling over the earth all day. They believed that there were multiple universes. Number 5. Alternate realities in Sumerian epics. A Sumerian myth known today as the Gilgamesh and the Netherworld opens with a mythological prologue. It assumes that the gods in the universe already exist and that once a long time ago, the heavens and earth were united, only later to be split apart. Later, humankind was created and the great gods divided up the job of managing and keeping control over the heavens, earth, and the netherworld. The origins of humans are described in another early 2nd millennium Sumerian poem, the Song of the Hoe. In this myth, as in many other Sumerian stories, the god Enlil is described as the deity who separates heavens and earth and creates mankind, which is pretty cool. Number 4. Parallel worlds in Aboriginal Dreamtime. Dreamtime, or dreaming for Australian Aboriginal people, represents the time when the ancestral spirits progressed over the land and created life and important physical geographic formations and sites. Aboriginal philosophy is known as the dreaming and is based on the interrelation of all people and all things. The past of the spirit ancestors which live on the legends are handed down through stories, art, ceremony, and songs. The dreaming explains the origin of the universe and the workings of nature and humanity. It shapes and structures life through the regulation and understanding of family life, the relation between the sexes, and obligations to people, land, and spirits. Now, due to their customs and beliefs, they have sustained a rich cultural heritage. In most stories of the dreaming, the ancestor spirits came to earth in human form as they moved through the land. They created animals, plants, rocks, rivers, mountains, and other forms of the land that we know today. These ancestral spirits also formed the relationships between Aboriginal people, the land, and all living beings. Now, once the ancestor spirits created the world, they transformed into trees, the stars, rocks, watering holes, etc. Now, these are sacred places of Aboriginal culture and have special meaning because the ancestors did not disappear at the end of the dreaming, but remained in these sacred sites. The dreaming is never ending, linking the past, present, and the people and the land. Number 3. Greek philosophers. The earliest hints of the multiverse are found in 2 ancient Greek schools of thought, the atomists and the Stoics. The atomists, whose philosophy dates to 5th century BC, argued that the order and beauty of our world was the accidental product of atoms colliding in an infinite void. The atomic collisions also give rise to an endless number of other parallel worlds less perfect than our own. Now, unlike the atomists, who describe reality without recourse to a divine being, the Stoics saw the cosmos to be imbued with internal, indestructible soul. But how to explain the apparent change and destruction we see? The universe recycles itself anew. According to 3rd century BC Stoics philosopher Chrypsis of Soli, the world would eventually deteriorate into a sort of ethereal nothingness, but then regenerate again into material form, only for the cycle to repeat itself for infinity. The atomists held that the atomic collisions give rise to an endless number of parallel worlds less perfect than our own. Now, although there are sharp differences between these 2 Greek philosophies, the respective ideas of Celtic and parallel universes are not necessarily mutually exclusive. Number 2. Buddhism. In the Avatamsaka Sutra, the Buddha speaks of a multiverse as represented in a garland of flowers, encompassing all of reality, as each universe flower reflects all others. This sutra was spoken just after the Buddhist enlightenment, and it describes the vision where a universe is present in the tiniest mote of dust. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas present in the tiniest particle on a single blade of grass or grain of sand. Matthew T. Fisher, the resident priest in Reno Buddhist Center, said our Saha world of suffering is what we see with our limited eyes. With wise and compassionate eyes, other universes are visible. Transcendent Buddha fields are interpenetrating realities with this one, the many flowers in the garland. These universes await our discernment through insight we can gain when we follow these teachings. Make a fundamental shift in your paradigm, reveal new worlds totally foreign to everyday perception, and make a quantum shift and open to the multiverse. And coming at number 1 is Mayan Cosmology. Mayan Cosmology identifies 3 realms of existence: the upper world, underworld, and the natural world, but these 3 realms are intricately connected. The world tree is at the center of the Mayan cosmos and links the 3 realms. The world tree supports the firm beliefs within Mayan culture that all things, both living and inanimate, have a spiritual essence. This provides the Maya the opportunity in which their natural bodies can interact with the sacred supernatural. Thus, Mayan rituals of communication that exist between the realms are critical for their survival because they see the universe as interconnected, relying on interdependent relationships to keep the world balanced. Without birth, there's no life, without life, there's no death, and without death, there is no rebirth. Well, that's all for our list of the top 10 mysterious parallel universe evidence in ancient texts. Now, do you believe that there's parallel universes? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I'm your host, Emily, and we'll see you next time. Peace.